It's amateur night. Good morning, everyone. On a Wednesday, December 31, 2025, Peter Boyle's in for the fellas, and they will be back on Monday. We're going to do the show today. We'll come back, do Friday show, Saturday show, and then turn it over to the pros. Good morning, everyone. 710 KNUS Denver's talk station, New Year's Eve. On a Wednesday, 61 will be the high, 62 on Thursday. It looks good. 60, 60, 60 throughout the entire run. Do we have my friend, we have my colleague, my brother? Ladies and gentlemen, without him, I don't have a show, the Blake Olson Show. We go to the seemingly abandoned warehouse. There he is. Hey.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Love it.
News and comment.
Amateur night, my boy. Woo. Huh?
Hey, listen, I did this for you.
I saw the hat, and I didn't bring another hat in.
So I got this for Christmas. You've probably seen these. Here, check that out. How about that?
Yes.
Look like a coal miner.
Well, you know, those bikers wear those now, pedal bikes.
Happy New Year's Eve.
You're blinking, yeah. What,
Rudolph.
I got a lot to talk about. What are you and the missus going to do?
We're gonna celebrate with my 15 and 18-year-old here at the house.
Yeah.
Just keep it at home. We're gonna cook.
Yep.
And we're gonna, my wife is gonna drink wine, I'm sure. And we're going to drink a lot of Diet Coke and 7-Up and ginger ale.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a blast. We may do a little karaoke, How about you?
An early dinner.
Good.
Yeah, to get the early.
I go to bed by 10, by the way. So
I get that creamed corn and some mashed potatoes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, just to
get the early bird.
Just your typical New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
Cream corn.
Cream corn, little mashed potatoes, gravy.
I love it.
Salisbury steak. Jello with fruit in it.
Hey, don't knock Salisbury steak,
I
man.
love Salisbury steak. I love that stuff.
I loved it as a kid.
Listen.
Loved it over at the grandparents' house.
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Paul's.
Yes.
We're talking about religion on Friday, Mrs. Paul's.
Yep, you were talking about those fish sticks. Boy, I could relate to that.
You hit somebody with them. Woo.
Yeah.
Get them
Absolutely.
In a box. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's going to be fireworks downtown. I think they're going to shoot them off some skyscrapers downtown. So you'll have those at about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock tonight.
Adam, who's a single guy, he can't find a party under $300.
Is that right?
That's what he's telling me.
Really, Adam?
Adam's a long baller, man. He's got gone. He said any place that they won't let him in. How much, son, is it for you to go out and party hard?
There's a lot that are just about that $300, $400 range. Like Decadence downtown is $400. The Sheridan Hotel has a party that's $400. The DoubleTree Hotel has one that's like $300.
What do you get for $400? Do you get a room?
Nothing I can say on the air.
You got what? you got to get a lot out of it.
You have to. They have to give you a room, don't they, for $400?
Think so.
Yeah, and Adam, you could crash. You put on a tuxedo or a suit, Adam, and you can crash any party, man.
Pull your hair back,
Exactly. They're going to think you're a star.
Man buns, those man bun things, like.
Yeah.
Take John with him, Hey, that's kind of devastating to women. Can you imagine?
Adam could pull it off, though, man.
Of course he could.
Just get it. Just crash the party, Adam. Tell him you're a rock star.
Like Billy and so many others, I'm raising him from a pup. Like he's met Adam, and
Adam's a smart dude, man.
Very smart dude.
I was going to say, I have taken a video camera and snuck into multiple events just saying I'm a photographer, so might have to give it a shot.
Oh, the political ones. Oh, sure.
You should.
Yeah, just flash. Well, don't you have a press ID? You don't have one?
Not for 2025.
We haven't gotten them yet.
Didn't get one.
I got one.
You play guitar, Adam?
I do not.
Guitar?
No.
You don't? Man,
I look like it, but I don't.
Yeah, you should just take an electric guitar in somewhere and they'll let you in.
I'm going to bounce one off of both of you because I've been talking to Adam about it. Tatiana Schlossberg, the daughter of Carolyn Kennedy, has died at 35 years of age. I've talked to Adam about this forever. Mm-hmm. There is a Kennedy curse. Blake, have you heard about any of this?
I have.
Yeah.
I've heard you talk about
Yeah.
it, and it's eerie.
Well, it's a series of deaths and accidents and assassinations and calamities that involve members of the Kennedy family. And, I mean, the Chappaquiddick and Dallas, and we go down a list of things, Sirhan. But now it's down generations. And I personally believe, and we can ask what folks think, Joe Kennedy, the ambassador, made a deal with the devil, and he double-crossed the devil. And the devil takes his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Every generation he kills or takes or somehow removes yet more Kennedys. And when I saw this last night, that she was 35 years of age, and Jack and Jackie had a daughter, Caroline, and this is Caroline's daughter. So she's Jack Kennedy's granddaughter. How many people believe in that curse, the Kennedy curse?
Man.
Huh? Wow.
Because JFK Jr. died in a plane
Plane
crash,
crash
right?
with his wife. I mean, it goes
Right.
back. Joe Kennedy,
Wow.
Joe Kennedy Jr. was Jack Kennedy's brother, and he was the one who really was the one that Ambassador Joe Kennedy was pushing, and he died during the Second World War. It just goes on. Kit Kennedy was their sister, and she was married to this guy, William Cavendish. He was killed by a sniper. She dies in an airplane, and it just goes on.
Man.
And of course, the 22nd of November, Jack Kennedy's assassinated. June 6, 1968, Bobby Kennedy's assassinated. And it just generations. David Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy's son, a drug overdose.
Wow.
And now I mean we can do this during the open line segment, but man alive, and a lot of them disabled, and the beat goes on, and
Man.
Joe Kennedy double crosses the devil, and here and so yet another one goes. And I don't know if you believe with that, but so
I believe in the devil.
I've worked for him.
So have I.
I just yes, we have.
Yeah.
But we're talking about also in open lines what you're doing tonight, and then all these man of the year, woman of the year, story of the year. You know, what do you think about next year? What's going to happen? And then I got a phone call. Ben Nighthorse Campbell passed away, and I knew him really well. Rode motorcycles with him. I was in a motorcycle club with him, and knew Ben real well. And at 9 o'clock, we'll do a tribute to the life and times of Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell. Vinnie Terranova will join us, and Dr. Tom Reedy, and we'll do about 15 minutes talking about the life of Ben Campbell. So I remember he was on the judo team. He was on the Olympic judo team.
That's right.
And then as a older guy, they tried to jump him. A couple guys tried to jump him in D.C.,
Yeah.
and he was probably 75 when and he kicked their ass.
Beat their butt.
Oh boy, he was a tough old man, and so we rode motorcycles together, and I campaigned with him once on motorcycles. He wanted to go.
Did you?
Well, you know, we were buddies, and he said, "Hey," he said, "I need some favors." And I said, "What do you want, Senator? You know, a senator calls. What are you going to do? Wants a favor?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Ride with me, and we're going to go to all these different places, and you can introduce me." And he was running for re-election. I thought,
Wow.
Yeah. So no, his wife had a motorcycle. She rode her own, and Ben rode, and I mean,
Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Oh, we had a good
I've
time.
forgotten about that.
Yeah, he was tough. He was something. So
No doubt.
anyhow, so we'll talk about Ben, but I'm enamored by the Kennedy curse, and it happened again.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not, this is
Yeah,
straight
that
up.
family has lived a rough life. Yeah, I get the wealth and fame and all that and power, but they have lived a rough life.
There's a pattern of death and illness, and I guess misfortune maybe, but that's plagued this family since Joe and Jack and Joe Jr., and it goes from there. Do you believe the Kennedy curse? Ted Kennedy after Chappaquiddick.
I know our intelligent callers will have some great things to say to you this morning about that.
No, I
Can't wait.
All right, sir.
All right, man.
That is all yours.
All right, Wednesday morning, 26 and clear in Denver, expecting a high of 58 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, once again, as Peter just said, former U.S. Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell from Colorado has passed away at the age of 92.
He was a member of the Northern Cheyenne tribe and was well known for his advocacy of Native American issues. He served in Congress from 1987 to 2005 and then served 2 terms in the Senate from 1993 to 2005. He was originally elected as a Democrat and famously switched to the Republican Party in 1995. Nighthorse Campbell was instrumental in establishing the National Museum of the American Indian, and he headed key Colorado conservation efforts, including the Sand Creek Massacre National Historic Site. Beyond politics, he was a U.S. Olympic judo team member in 1964 and a jewelry designer. I'm Mark Mayfield.
DJT vetoes Lauren Boebert's bill that would deliver fresh water to southeastern Colorado and the Arkansas Valley. 47 said, quote, "My administration is committed to preventing American taxpayers from funding expensive and unreliable policies." Boebert says that many of the 50,000 people affected enthusiastically voted for him in all 3 elections. Boebert says she's going to continue fighting for the state and standing up for rural communities. The Department of Health and Human Services is freezing all child care payments to the state of Minnesota amid all the fraud committed by the left, i.e. Tim Walz and the Somalis in the Twin Cities. Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill said that all child care payments to the state are now frozen, with steps taken Tuesday against what he called the blatant fraud that appears to be rampant in Minnesota and across the country. It took an independent journalist named Nick Shirley to show abandoned daycares in Minnesota being subsidized by taxpayer money. Here's Nick.
It gets this bad because people are afraid to call it out for what it is and speak facts. You know what I mean? It's crazy what's happening here in Minnesota. People work way too hard for billions of dollars, whether it's a Republican doing the fraud or a Democrat doing the fraud. Fraud is fraud. So we should hold each and every single person accountable for it.
Good for Nick. This dude, man, he's inspiring a lot of young people right now. Scott Pressler says it all rolls into voter fraud as well.
500,000 voters, or nearly 19% of all voters in Minnesota, registered on Election Day. What? And did you know that former Senator Al Franken was elected by 312 votes? So I'm not alleging anything on the program, but what I am saying is that this vouching system, which clearly opens the door for potential fraud, could swing statewide elections. And when you find out that Al Franken was the 60th vote for the Affordable Care Act, these voter fraud insecurities could open the door to very real consequences. And I have breaking news that I have filed an email with the Minnesota Secretary of State, and I have submitted a data practices request to get the data of registrants, of people that vouched, and how many of those 500,000 voters actually came about because of vouching, and that's breaking.
All right, so there is a silver lining in all this, hopefully. Protests are growing in Iran as students call for an end to regime rule. Hundreds of protesters took to the streets of Tehran Tuesday, with some chanting "Death to Islamic Republic." The protests started over the weekend as the Iranian currency hit a new low against the dollar. Snowpack across Colorado is at 56% of median levels. Colorado Snow Survey Supervisor Brian Demacos says recent storms have done little to improve things.
It isn't quite record low across Colorado. It is one of the lowest years that we've seen since we started collecting this data.
The South Platte River Basin is currently tied for record low snowpack at 60% of normal. Colorado Headwaters snowpack is measuring 51% of normal. All right, the Broncos back on the practice field today. Sunday, Chargers in town. Broncos could earn the number 1 seed in the AFC with a victory. Final weekend of the regular season. College football playoffs continue tonight. Miami and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. All 3 games tomorrow are great. Oregon, Texas Tech, Bama, Indiana, Ole Miss, Georgia. The Alamo Bowl last night in overtime, USC leading by TCU by 3. They run it in for a touchdown, and they win it 30-27. TCU. And Nugs at the Raptors tonight. Nikola Jokic out for about a month with a hyperextended knee. The Blues at the Avs tonight in Lodo for New Year's Eve. So you have NHL hockey downtown. 25 in Centennial, 24 in Arvada, 26 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill, and Pete is in for the fellas on New Year's Eve. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your KNUS forecast for the Denver metro area calls for temperatures mid and upper 20s early this Wednesday. We're going to conclude 2025 with well above average highs and lows. It'll be a dry and quiet New Year's Day and night here for the metro area weather-wise. High temps today, low to mid 60s, mid 30s tonight, upper 50s for New Year's Day, mostly cloudy. Some snow falling in the high country, but not here in the metro area, and we'll see lows near 40 Thursday night, low to mid 60s for highs Friday through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Mark Huer in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Good morning, everyone. 710 KNUS, Peter Boyles on New Year's Eve. 303-696-1971. Phone number lines are wide open as we start the show. 61 will be the high today, 62 tomorrow, and 60 on Friday. Our schedule is we work today, then we'll work Friday, Saturday, and then take a rest. I started with this. We talked about it with Blake, and it's an adventurous question. But Tatiana Schlossberg died. She was 35 years of age. And how she plays out in this is that her mother is Carolyn Kennedy, and her grandfather is John F. Kennedy, the President of the United States who was assassinated. There is something called the Kennedy curse, and I got a half a foot in it. The curse is a series of deaths, accidents, assassinations, all these calamities. And it's attributed to Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., a.k.a. the ambassador, who's I don't even know how to describe him, but he wanted power, he wanted money, wealth, ambition. His transgressions, I guess, In life, he brought his lover to the dining table, Gloria Swanson, with his family. Rose is there, the boys are there, and he brings his lover to the table. I'm reading a book entitled 1929, and they're Wall Street players. But his sons, and it goes generational, and tell me what you do with this. 303-696-1971. It's a pattern. And there's Joe Jr., who was the heir apparent. It wasn't Jack, it was Joe. And he was the golden child, and his family was Joseph P. Kennedy Jr. And most historians or psychohistorians believe that he was in total competition with this perceived weaker younger brother, Jack Kennedy. So when Jack goes through what he went through in the Second World War in the PT boats and comes back to Boston, and Joe is home. He's flown numbers of missions in the Second World War in Europe out of England, but he comes back and his brother has been awarded this medal, and he's acclaimed and he's getting attention, which to Joe Jr. was, in fact, it just was intolerable. You were not going to let this weaker younger brother, and so he went back. And he didn't have to go back, from my understanding of my reading. He had completed his missions, and he was being offered the job to teach flying in the United States. And because of his competition with his brother, he returned to England and volunteered for a very dangerous mission. And they had loaded an airplane up with a tremendous amount of explosives, and he was to fly this plane and then parachute out of it. And the plane was going to go in and hit the target. Well, the plane blew up apparently over the English Channel. And so it begins. And they have a sister, Kathleen, and they called her Kick. And I just read this family, it's just an incredible story, but she married a guy by the name of Kavanaugh. And Kavanaugh was not Irish, he wasn't Catholic. And nevertheless, he's I think a sniper's bullet gets him, he was a brave soldier for the British, and I think he was connected to the royal family. The Kennedy family in England, when Joe was the ambassador, FDR appoints Joe to the court of St. James, and his performance in Great Britain is nothing to be proud of, and so he is recalled, and when he returns, he goes to see FDR, and FDR says, never let him back in here again. And he goes out to California, and there's a wonderful book, that how the Jews built Hollywood, and there's the Goldwins and all those guys, and he preaches to them about Hitler. And of course, what happens. And then he is pushed aside, but he has made a tremendous amount of money. And it's always debatable whether he was in bed with the gangsters, much like Fred Trump. Fred Trump is alleged to have played games with organized crime in New York City. And Joseph P. is alleged to have played bootlegger games with organized crime. And people debate this back and forth. Historians debate it back and forth. But when Jack Kennedy comes along, and there's a great line from Harry Truman, and Harry Truman hated Joe Kennedy, Joe Sr., Ambassador Kennedy. And when people were talking about Jack Kennedy's Catholicism, and Harry Truman is alleged to have said, "I'm not afraid of the Pope, it's the Pop," meaning the father of Jack Kennedy. And then he is assassinated. Jack Kennedy, of course, we know the story. And then it begins. And then Robert Kennedy is assassinated. Jack in 1963 and Bobby Kennedy in 1968. And it just goes one after the other, after the other, after the other. And there's Kathleen Kennedy dies in 48. John F. Jr., Jack Kennedy's son, handsome kid, 1999, in a plane crash. And Chappaquiddick, Ted Kennedy. All these things are a curse. And now, of course, this young woman, her life is also. She's dead at 35. She is the granddaughter of Jack Kennedy. You tell me, 303-696-1971, do you believe it's a genuine curse? Do you believe in curses? Seriously, my grandma. Oof. But do you think that this Kennedy family is cursed? And the reason it's cursed is Joe Kennedy. And there's this moment that they're trying to get to Joe Kennedy to try and tell Bobby Kennedy to back off the mob, back off Hoffa. And Joe Kennedy has had a massive stroke, the ambassador. And it's the final part of the curse in his life. And he's sitting on the porch in a palatial Hyannisport, wrapped in blankets. And we're told all he can do is blink. And the organized crime guys that he knew from back in Prohibition, and those were the boys. And his son is coming after them, Jimmy Hoffa. He's coming after Hoffa. He's coming after organized crime. But if you're going after Hoffa, you're going after the source of the revenue for them to build Vegas, to do all the different things that they did with the Teamsters Fund. But he also is going after Sam Giancana. He is also going after Carlos Marcello. He deports Carlos. And they're trying to get to the ambassador to tell him, back it off. Back it off. And we know this moment that J. Edgar Hoover, who hated Bobby hated J. Edgar, not fond of Jack, but really this battle was with Bobby Kennedy, hated each other. And he comes up with all the files on Jack Kennedy with Marilyn Monroe, with Judith Campbell. There's a list of things that he has on Jack Kennedy. He doesn't take him to Jack. He doesn't take him to the ambassador. He takes him to Bobby Kennedy and shows it to him. Says, here, look. And they know that if Hoover has it. And so that moment comes where Jack Kennedy's supposed to go to California and stay with Frank Sinatra, and Bobby switches it up, and he goes to Bing Crosby's house. And Bing Crosby's a Republican. And that starts it up with the Kennedys and Frank Sinatra, and all of that falls apart, the so-called Rat Pack, the Jack Pack. And the moment then comes where Joe Kennedy can do nothing. He knows what's going to happen. And then when does he know that Jack's dead? And it's one of those, again, questions that he's on the porch, wrapped in blankets, and his son dead in Dallas. And did he know? And then of course, the next thing comes, and it's Bobby Kennedy. And Bobby, of course, his life is taken by Sirhan Sirhan. And what do you do with that? 303-696-1971. I'm intrigued by it. And also open lines on anything else, the Man of the Year, Woman of the Year, Story of the Year. Next year, what are you doing tonight? It's amateur night. And at 9 o'clock this morning, we'll do a tribute to the life and times of Ben Nighthorse Campbell with Vinnie Terranova and Dr. Tom Reedy. I don't know. Lines are wide open. It's an open lines moment right now. It is amateur night on 710 KNUS. 710 KNUS. Good morning, everyone. 710 KNUS Weather Center weather, 61 the high today, and it's a Wednesday, and then 62 Thursday, and 60 on Friday. We were, again, talking, and Adam's really good at this stuff about, and again, allow me to do this for a second because I love to pursue this angle in history, the Kennedy curse. And it was announced yesterday that Tatiana Schlossberg, she was a writer, but the daughter of Carolyn Kennedy, and of course her grandfather then is Jack Kennedy, 35 years of age, she's dead. And I've always been intrigued by this notion that this is a cursed family. And to the audience, 303-696-1971, do you believe in curses? Do you believe in things like this? Adam, what do you do with this? Is this, is there such a thing?
I think there is. You know, you look at all the weird things that have happened to that family over the years, and there's something going on. I mean, Michael was killed in Aspen.
Playing football on the slopes.
Ski accident hitting a tree. There was the lobotomy, the assassinations.
His daughter, Rosemary, was 23 years of age, and what the people who write the truth about the family is that she went into town and was actually having discovered sex with men, and Joe Kennedy wanted nothing to do with that, and he had her lobotomized. And that's one of the curses. It's one of the parts of the curse.
And then JFK became a playboy.
Oh, please. There are historians that believe that he died with a social disease, that he was, there was just a list, a string of people that are connected. All of them are connected to Joe. And is that the payback? That he made a deal with the devil, and he double-crossed the devil. And the devil said, okay. And, can you imagine, and I've thought about this, they had this compound, and they still do, in Hyannisport. And he's sitting wrapped in blankets in a wheelchair. And Jack's dead in Dallas. And historians have argued, do you think he knew? Was he told? And he couldn't talk, lost his speech, lost everything. But he's sitting there, and they said he could blink his eyes. And they need to stop Bobby Kennedy from going after the gangsters and Hoffa and the rest of it, because in their minds that they got him elected. And that, when we were talking about that the other morning, there's a really remarkable book called Double Cross, and it's written by the Giancana family. And I met them and talked with them, and they say that we put him in the White House, and you can argue that they did. And now you owe us. And instead of doing that, you sick your brother on us, Bobby. And Bobby went after Hoffa, and he went after Sam Giancana. He went after Hoffa. He went after Carlos Marcello. He went after, I think he went after Santos Trafficante. But he went after organized crime, and particularly Jimmy Hoffa. And they were warning him, this is not what we did for you. And you don't know. And so in the end, they had to kill Jack. I'm a firm believer that the CIA and organized crime together killed John Kennedy. And it's really interesting, all of the insanity that was generated in that time period ends. The moment Lyndon Johnson becomes president of the United States, the shift goes to Vietnam. They end all the kinds of things that were going on in Cuba. End. Boom, they're gone. The organized crime guys. We were talking about this the other night, and there's the committee is going to investigate assassinations, and they're going after. They want two. They've subpoenaed two people to come. One was Sam Giancana. The other one was Johnny Rosselli, Johnny Handsome. Rosselli is found in a 55-gallon drum, all cut up in Dumfoundling Bay, in a 55-gallon drum. And, of course, Sam Giancana, whoever he lets in the house, and they shoot him around the mouth. He's shot with a .22 around his mouth. That, the mark of the squealer. And he was going to testify. And who would not let that happen? Who decided that those two guys were not going to go before? We've been talking yesterday about role of government and talking about what you don't know and what I don't know. There's a great example that he's subpoenaed to go. And remember, he's been in Mexico, and he was in love with Phyllis McGuire of the McGuire sisters, and he comes back. And the Mexican government kicks him out, and they're waiting for him at the border and it was arranged to get him out of Mexico. And he goes to his home in Chicago. He's cooking sausages. His kitchen was in the basement. And whoever killed him, he knew. They let him in and shot him while he was in the back of the head and then around his mouth. And that was the mark. Don't talk. And he had been subpoenaed, and he apparently was going to go. Johnny Rosselli, same thing. And he was the connection in Hollywood. And Handsome Johnny. And so there it is. And it's all part of this Kennedy curse. And what they knew, what they didn't know, Castro, Cuba. I'm so fascinated by all of that stuff. And yet, in the middle of all of it is a Kennedy one way or the other. And some awful curse that hangs over that family. And there's other curses. And last night I was reading this stuff. There are people, well, in pro wrestling, it's near and dear to my heart, the Von Erichs. And Adam is a huge wrestling fan, as I am. Do you think the Von Erichs are a cursed family?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, see?
Curses are real.
Curses are real. Every single one of the Von Erichs. Is there one left, right? There's one left.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think he lives in Hawaii.
And if anybody wants to know what Peter's talking about, there's a 2023 movie called The Iron Claw.
It's a great film.
Gotta watch that.
Great movie. But is Fritz Von Erich, did Fritz have a cursed family? They all killed themselves. I mean, it wasn't like they were killed. They killed themselves. And imagine that. I mean, is there the Von Erich family cursed? Poof. And so, what are you going to do tonight? 303, get off of that, Peter. 303-696-1971. It is amateur night. And go to dinner early. These are these radio shows where you see who's the man of the year, the woman of the year, the story of the year, what happens next year. But if you think about it, who's the man of the year? Is it Donald Trump? Man of the year? Adam says yeah. Good, bad, or indifferent. I think it's Donald Trump as well. Who's the woman of the year? Donald Trump's wife. Stormy Daniels, woman of the year. Who's the woman of the year? Marjorie Taylor Greene?
It'd probably have to be Kamala.
Kamala Harris. Ooh.
Most impact?
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy that it's her.
I don't know who would be more than her that was in the news or had more of an impact. I'd be interested to hear what people think.
What was Epstein's sidekick?
Yeah, Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe her.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, what is the story of the year? Is it Epstein's story, the Epstein tapes, the Epstein letters, the Epstein, everything to do with Jeffrey Epstein? Is that the story of the year?
I'd go that or Charlie Kirk.
Very good, well thought out. Charlie Kirk also up for the man of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then next year, your predictions for next year, what happens? Does our country stay out of war for next year? Phew. All right. I am sick and talking. You must join me. 303-696-1971. Here's there's a bunch of text coming in. Morning, Mr. Boyles. Do you think Sirhan acted alone to kill Bobby? There's an incredible book that I tell the people. Tell the people. That is all the people need to know. Remember that? Baron von Raschke. There's a book entitled RFK Must Die. And I interviewed the author. He was an L.A. Newspaper guy. And it's a bizarre book. The assassination of Bobby Kennedy and this investigative documentary. There's a guy, and his name was Shane O'Sullivan. Why do I remember that? And they made a film out of the book RFK Must Die. And Bobby Kennedy I think he had won the Democratic primary in California, and there's going. Remember, he said on to Chicago, and he was going to challenge Nixon for the White House, and he gave that victory speech in the ballroom, Ambassador Hotel, in Los Angeles, and he was walking through the hotel kitchen, and he was shot by Sirhan Sirhan. Sirhan was Palestinian, but he was a Christian. It's always interesting to people. He was Palestinian American, I guess you could say, and he was convicted of murder. But the plot, we'll talk about the plot on the other side of this. Lines are lighting up. Thank you. 303-696-1971. But to this guy's text message, we'll follow that up. We'll take the calls, and let's get this party started. What you doing tonight? 303-696-1971. right, we have a line open. Morning, everybody. 710 KNUS Denver's Talk Station on a Wednesday, the 31st of December, 2025. Here we go. And we'll talk about RFK Must Die on the other side. This is Tony in Littleton. Thanks, Brother Man. You're on the show.
Hey, good morning.
Morning to you.
So I'm not really. I don't believe in curses. I don't, So I can't really say that. You can acknowledge that family has been hit with a lot of tragedy. That's for darn sure. But I'm kind of interested in the death of the granddaughter here in the last couple of days of leukemia.
Yes.
And in that type of a situation, you kind of expect people to send out messages of condolence.
All right.
Do you have a personal opinion on Trump taking that opportunity to attack the Kennedy family?
Did he attack the Kennedys?
Yeah, he spent the day forwarding out. His acolytes would send in various messages to his social media site that attacking the Kennedys, and then he forwarded them on through putting his
In fairness, I thought it was the Reiner stuff that happened after Carl Reiner.
That's old attack. That's the old stuff.
I tell
the
you
new
what,
stuff is we got a dead Kennedy now, and he took that opportunity to attack the Kennedys.
I actually I haven't seen that. I certainly will. Where do I look for it?
Well, it would be on his social media site.
Okay.
Well,
would you look? Okay, not you, Luck. I'm talking to Adam. Go ahead.
Right, and then I also wanted to see if you had an opinion on, everything's Kennedy right now. I mean, so renaming the Kennedy Center.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is they renamed the military installations, and then Donald Trump brought back the Fort Bragg, Fort Benning names.
Right.
And on the Kennedy Center, there's no show tonight. They canceled everything out tonight.
Right.
And adding his name to the Kennedy Center, that just doesn't work for me. Do your own thing, name your own places, do whatever you want to do. But it's like the airport Kennedy that was named after Jack Kennedy was killed. And what was that? That was LaGuardia before it was Kennedy. And then Canaveral becomes Cape Kennedy. But that was Jack Kennedy, and that was that time, 63. I don't like him putting his name on on the Kennedy Center.
Right. I mean, the law itself reads, this will be the only memorial to Jack Kennedy in Washington, D.C. It will be a living memorial in his name and his name only.
Well, the eternal flame at Arlington is another. There's a lot of things that were named for Kennedy. A lot of schools. There was Kennedy here, and there's a high school here that was named after Jack Kennedy. But it's interesting. I didn't know that the Trump stuff had rolled into the death of Tatiana Schlossberg. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I don't read his. I had to hear that through a news story reciting what was on the social media site, because I'm not a member of his site either.
Adam's
so I don't blame you for not seeing it. Yeah. No, I appreciate your view on the Kennedy Center. I share your opinion.
Yeah, that should not, especially since the whole argument, the fight about wokeness and taking down statues and renaming things and covering up, and that's wrong. That's very wrong. We have a history in this country that good, bad, or indifferent will be lost when you start to weed and seed. It's wrong. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Good call.
Yeah. Thank you much.
You're welcome. Thank you. We have enough time? No, we're done. 1 minute. Folks on the phone, stay right there. I also want to complete talking about the book RFK Must Die, because it's one of my faves. Bunch of text messages to read. What you doing tonight? It is amateur night, Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. I'm Peter Boyles. This is 710 KNUS.